seems like they're everywhere you turn. Every single day they invade the headlines. Another half-wit criminal with a half-baked scheme. Another social media simpleton going viral. Another Florida man stretching the bounds of stupidity. Or another pack of SJWs throwing a temper tantrum. And that's not even the worst of it. From the empty talking heads on the cable news channels, to the humorless hacks in Hollywood, to the pea-brained politicians pulling the puppet strings, everywhere you look, there's another idiot telling you how to live your life.
Moron Joe, the man without a brain.
I'll have to just circle back with you.
Oh, Grandpa Joe Biden. Much wise. So virile. So strong. So good. So irreverent.
Will you shut up, man? I took a trip up there to the North Pole. I went there, and I vaccinated Santa Claus myself.
9 out of 10 people won't get sick. It's 90% effective and legit.
Swab their ass, swab their ass. Dr. Science says I gotta swab their ass, swab their booty.
Are they the reason that my friend Jamal's dad lives in jail? That's right, very helpful. They're the reason that all the black people in America's daddies live in jail.
I'm getting my gun. I have my gun, and I've been keeping it warm.
You walk into a store and you have a mask on, you think they're a little range, you better blow their heads off.
Well, that's it. It's just...
We're gonna keep the streets safe.
Well, Jay and Anissa have had enough. Armed with clever satire, madcap humor, and the craziest cast of characters in podcasting, they're lining up and taking aim at the world of stupidity every single week. Because it is time to go to war. The War on Morons.
It is Tuesday, April 6th, 2021, and this is episode 75 of The War on Morons. I'm Jay.
And I'm Anissa. And welcome to the only show online where we speak truth to stupidity every single week.
Yeah, I don't know if we should do that.
Kind of our whole thing.
We've been doing it for a while, and I know we've been, coming out week after week, mocking the idiots. But, I mean, it comes with a little bit of risk. These days, you never know,
I mean, they might not let you get a vaccine passport if you keep it up.
You're right. I'm 200% sure I'm 300% sure I'm never going to apply for a vaccine passport. So, I think we're good.
But have you seen all the benefits if you get the, let's just call it the Vax Pass? I mean, you can leave your house again.
Ooh, you sound like that chick from CNN.
I mean, you know.
The carrot.
Right, the carrot. Here's the thing, though. I mean, with the carrot, look at it this way. You still have to wear the mask. You still have to keep the 6-foot bubble. You can still catch COVID, but think about it. You can go to Chili's.
That's a great carrot. Wonderful carrot. But it's like they really don't know. Like, they really don't know, do they?
I don't know. I mean, I can smell those fireworks and burgers cooking already. It's just a couple months away to government-mandated, partially permitted demi-freedom.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think you can smell them because they actually are outside. There's literally a giant carnival going on, about a few blocks away from here. I mean, I don't know if we should tell them that we never stop doing any of this stuff, or if we should just let them keep thinking we're on lockdown. But I kind of wonder if anybody's actually on lockdown. I mean, they can't be that cucked in the blue states, can they?
Oh, well, obviously you're not on TikTok. Yeah, they are. Still, I mean, you can't even go to a baseball game without your Vax Pass. Did you see that? America's game. Gotta have your papers. Up in New York, if you want to go to see the Mets, you want to go see the Yankees, well, you gotta show not only your Vax papers, you gotta show your COVID test papers, your antigen test papers. I mean, it's a lot of papers.
Oy vey. I mean, this makes me wonder. It's actually been like a couple decades since I've been up in New York, but I remember when I was up there, like they used to have, they probably still have this, like the dudes like selling like the Rolexes, and like they post up with just like, they sell all kinds of stuff. But like I remember one thing that just kind of stuck with me is they had like the yarmulkes, you know, like the Jewish hats.
I know what a yarmulke is. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they have the yarmulkes, and they've got like the Yankees logos on them. They got the Mets logos on them. So I guess like, I mean, they're obviously really, really popular with you know, with the Jewish community up there. Like, I wonder if those people see the irony when they're walking into Yankee Stadium and some fucking Gestapo's like, hold on, I need to see your papers before you can watch the baseball. They're like, did you get your fucking antigen test today? Like,
oh my God.
What the fuck?
Look, maybe, I mean, it could be worse. I mean, maybe if you're not vaccinated, they pin a Red Sox logo to your chest.
There you go. That'll, you know, how about this? Maybe the Astros, you know, everybody hates them, and it's already kind of like a yellow star. So, you know.
All right, getting spicy.
Hey, you know, hey, if you haven't heard yet, though, kind of a late-breaking development, but baseball's over. Trump's hit, actually.
What?
Yeah.
It just started.
Trump, well, I mean, baseball started it. They got mixed up in all this nonsense about the voting integrity law in Georgia. You know, that crazy, insane, apparently racist legislation that says you have to have an ID and a pulse to participate in elections now.
Boy, yeah, you're saying that happened in Georgia? Well, I just wonder what could have inspired that.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they're sick of Fat Stacy registering dead cats and Civil War veterans to vote. I mean, maybe they're like, boy, how did we get 1 million more voters than we had last cycle?
I don't get it. I mean, how is this? Somehow this is racist?
Everything's racist to these fucking imbeciles.
Okay, but what's that got to do with baseball?
Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all.
Okay.
Yeah, and that didn't stop them. That did not stop the tone-deaf moron who's in charge of Major League Baseball. It didn't stop him from announcing on Friday that they're going to move the All-Star Game. They're also going to move the MLB Draft out of Atlanta to punish Georgia. I guess they think they're punishing Georgia Republicans, again, for being racist.
I'm sure, boy, I mean, the math there is kind of questionable. I really don't think they thought this out, did they?
When was the last time they thought anything out?
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean,
when was the last time Major League Baseball made political stances?
Well, I mean, apparently that's their thing now. I mean, so these two events, I was speaking of math, so they're worth over $100 million in revenue. You know, when you think about, you know, all the tourism and people, you know, buying hotel rooms and yada, yada, yada. So anyway, they hit them right in the wallet.
Okay, well, it serves them right.
Yeah, well, by them, I'm actually referring to Atlanta Democrats. Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, who do you think's working concessions? Who do you think's hawking T-shirts outside the ballpark? Who do you think's hawking bootlegs T-shirts outside the ballpark? Who do you think's hawking mixtapes outside of the ballpark?
All right, I get it. The people are hawking
dope. Well, I'm just saying they screwed a bunch of Stacey Abrams poll workers out of a gig. I mean, it's not exactly.
Not to mention the freaking corporate money that they're missing out on.
Oh yeah. I'm sure that's hurting. That's really hurting the conservative small business owners from making. No, they're screwing the leftists from Delta and Coca-Cola who've been, you know, talking shit about them and trying to screw them. Like, good job, Major League Baseball.
It's all because Georgia wants it to make it harder for people to rig their elections. I mean, I don't know. Weren't we supposed to have like a God-given right to fair and free elections? Like, who doesn't have an ID? Well, if you can't figure out how to get a picture ID, you're probably too stupid to be voting anyways.
Yeah, and I can completely agree with that, because look where all these stupid voters and dead voters got us. I mean, look at the first family. I mean, did you see that interview with Hunter Biden over the weekend?
Oh my God.
I mean, that sounded like a share at like a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. And not just a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, like in a really, really bad, skeevy part of town.
Oh my God.
He's on, I don't remember what network, it was like on NBC or CBS or something. This fucking guy, I don't know.
The president's son.
The president's business partner.
Yes.
The guy who Joe Biden says is the smartest man he knows. He's like, yeah, I've crawled on my hands and knees picking crack rocks out of the carpet. I mean, I smoke anything that looks like crack. I've probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than anybody you know. He really said that.
Good God, it's disgusting. I mean, that had to be awkward for the chick doing the interview. Like, actually, Hunter, I mean, none of my friends smoke carpet cheese and crack pipes at all.
I mean, to be fair, at least he didn't try to molest her like his underage
Christ.
niece. I mean, you know, I think the dog's got more brains than anybody in the Biden family. Like, than Joe, than the nurse, than Hunter combined.
Huh.
You know, Major Biden, maybe the first dog president. Maybe we should have the first dog president, because Major Biden would have better border policy than Joe Biden. If he went down to Mexico, he could piss on that gap in the border fence. He'd be doing more than what they're doing now.
I mean, didn't I don't know if that dog has many brains. I mean, didn't he just bite somebody again, like his first day back in the freaking White House?
I mean, we don't know the whole story. We don't know the context. Maybe he bit a terrorist. Maybe Major bit his Muslim ass before he could kill somebody.
It sounds like Major might be racist. I don't know.
Sounds like Major might be the only patriot in the Biden family.
Didn't he also take a shit in the briefing room or something?
Have you seen those Jen Psaki press conferences? If I was invited to one, I probably would do the same thing.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, though. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was Joe and they're just using the dog to cover up. Like, I mean, he looks like the sort of guy that would be, you know, chasing people around, snapping his dentures at them,
God.
crapping his Depends. I mean, the man needs to be in a home.
All right, I think, yeah, as sad as it is, you might be onto something. Maybe this is a little tinfoil hat for us, but hear me out. I mean, what if there are no dogs in the White House?
No dogs in the White House? You know, I could actually believe it. I mean, you know, they're selling that story a little too hard. I mean, how many pictures do we need to see of Nurse Jill, you know, posing with a German Shepherd? Like, look, we get it, lady. You know, either your panties smell like planters.
Oh, God!
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, she looks a little too close to those dogs.
All right, well, you know, let's just change gears here. I will say, though, I bet Major Biden is just Joe's Secret Service code name.
They're already a full-on North Korean dictatorship. I mean, they might as well. Even if Major Biden is just the dog, I mean, they should make Joe Biden. They should give him a fake military title. You know, let him start parading around the White House in an officer's outfit like Colonel Gaddafi. Like,
I don't know. I don't think Gaddafi wore a diaper.
Well. You know what? On that note, I don't think we can get any better than that. Let's just move on into the show. So thanks again for tuning in, of course, on the video feed at tv.gab.com or the podcast at hamimediagroup.podbean.com. We've got another ridiculous foray into the fortress of foolishness for you tonight. Tonight we've got horrible bosses, terrible parents, racist highways, and cancel culture gone mad.
All right, and if that sounds like fun to you, hit up our call-in line at 813-906-9099. Email us at thewaronmorons@gmail.com, or just leave a comment in the chat below. We want to hear from you and bring you into the show.
And now, it's time for the Stack of Stupidity.
All right, I'll start things off with this story from the World Economic Forum, our benevolent global overlords.
Praise them.
This isn't exactly a news story, just an update. Hopefully you're not eating dinner while you're watching the program.
I mean, I think that by episode 75 they should know better anyway. But I've got to ask, is this story going to make people throw up? Like, Is that how we're going to start things off?
It might. But I was actually referring to the terrible news that if you're eating dinner while watching the broadcast tonight, you're probably eating animal cell-based proteins like beef, chicken, and pork. And according to the World Economic Forum, that will just not do. So they have released a new study encouraging an increase in alternative proteins. You know, like crickets, grubs, lab-grown meat, normal things like that.
So, I mean, are these people, are they actually aliens? The World Economic Forum? Like, who says animal cell-based proteins? Like, I know it's kind of a meme to say, like, reptilian overlords, but that sounds like some shit that a reptilian overlord would say.
the reptiles do enjoy eating crickets.
They do. And they want to just... They're just like yeah, you know what? Sometimes when you're eating something that's really good and you just want somebody else to try it.
Yeah. Maybe
that's what they're doing. They're just like, come on, man, why won't you try the bugs? Why don't you try the grubs, man? We've been grubbing on these crickets for millennia. Hey, remember the good old days when everybody knew that only crazy people ate bugs? You know?
Yeah, I mean, we used to watch Bear Grylls go into the wild, and he'd eat bugs, and it was like shock factor. Right? Like fear factor. It's funny you should mention that, though, because, I mean, the study did also talk about the only thing standing in the way of their goal of replacing at least 22% of the meat in the market with worm burgers and soy. Well, the only thing standing in the way of that goal? Resistant consumers.
Oh, my God. So... Obviously, you know, I'm a resistant consumer now.
Yeah, sign me the fuck up.
Hopefully they don't vaporize me. I mean, why are these people so obsessed with making us eat bugs? Like, did a cattle rancher steal their girlfriend or something? like Bill Gates, I mean, he seems like the kind of guy that used to eat worms on the playground as a kid. Maybe, you know, out of his own volition, maybe because somebody made him. Maybe he thinks it's cool.
I mean, trust the science, right?
That's literally opposite. It's literally the opposite of how science works.
Pretty sure they're not going to stop at this 22% benchmark either. I mean, once you show that you're willing to eat this stuff once or twice a week, how hard is it to make it an everyday thing?
Nah, it's crazy. I mean, next thing you know, you're going to tell me they're going to stretch 2 weeks to slow the spread into a permanent lockdown, double masking alone in my home, swabbing my ass 3 times a day, getting a daily inoculation to be allowed to use my Amazon account.
Oh, no, that would be crazy. So,
anyway, speaking of Amazon, we've got some data on what everybody's been spending their desperately needed stimulus checks on. And no, it's not their rent.
Shocking. Shocked and appalled. Color me shocked and appalled. You mean to tell me that they're not saying, Alexa, pay off my credit card bill, please?
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if a few people actually tried to say that and wondered why it didn't happen, you know, and then gave it like a 1-star review. Like, this is bullshit. I told her to pay my bills. Not exactly, you know, Alexa, purchase food and shelter for my unemployed family. No, not none of that's happening.
No.
No, what was it, $2 trillion or some nonsense like that? $2 trillion that Congress pushed through so they could drop $1,400 in a lot of people's bank accounts, pretty much for no reason. No reason.
Apparently.
Yeah, because that money, well, it went mostly to PlayStation 5s. Who called that? I feel like we did.
I feel like we did.
Yeah, that was the number one thing they bought, PlayStation 5s.
Okay.
Number 2, sex toys.
Wow.
And number 3, summer dresses. In that order.
Huh. Jesus. I mean, apparently those stimmy checks have inspired a whole new generation of erotic Twitch streamers. I don't know what else to make of that.
Well, is that like one of those, like, you know, like those, like connect the dots video games? Like, how do those 3 things go together?
I guess so. I mean, like, how else are you going to use those 3 things together? I mean, if you combine those 3 items, you get your typical e-thought.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if they're all being bought together. They're just the top shopping trends on Amazon, but I mean, honestly, good detective work.
How is this stimulating the economy again, by the way? I mean, they're just giving a bunch of money to a Japanese video game company and cheap Chinese manufacturers and Jeff Bezos.
And whores online, apparently. But since when has Congress cared about our economy?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. Now, if you think that's wasteful, researchers did estimate in a study published in Frontiers in Environmental Science that, quote, an astounding 129 billion face masks are being used globally every month, thanks to COVID-19 protocols. Now, if that number isn't shocking enough for you, it breaks down to 3 million every single minute.
Well, you know, it's a damn good thing they only care about the environment when they're trying to make me eat a cockroach burrito.
Yup.
Jesus.
If that's not bad enough, as I'm sure anybody watching this knows, because you can't go anywhere in the world without seeing these things everywhere. I mean, they're littering the streets. Your shopping cart, you go to get one at the grocery store, there's some dirty mask in there. I mean, most of them are the disposable kind made out of plastic, and they're just being thrown around. I mean, where are they going?
Well, I mean, they're probably going into the ocean. I mean, I bet these sea turtles are looking up at us just like, really? Really? You're throwing this dirty plastic masks from a Chinese sweatshop in here, man? Like, you know, I'm glad to report that apparently I'm an environmentalist now because I don't wear those masks. So all you
doing your part.
Yeah, all you climate change Nazis, you can stop with your moralizing because I've seen you. You double masking, triple masking. You're basically strangling the sea turtles right in front of me.
You're the part of the problem.
Ugh. Bastards. Anyway, speaking of the law of unintended consequences, as Rush would say, an absolutely hilarious video leaked from a school board meeting in Idaho last week. If you haven't seen this, it's amazing. So, some idiot Karen on the school board, she was engaged in a vicious debate about the district's mandatory mask policy. Of course, it goes without saying she was losing the debate because there's no proof that the masks are helpful for anything, but that's not the point.
So she was arguing for the masks and she was losing?
Well, yeah, she's a mask Karen. She just wants everybody to submit. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
So the other guy's like, hey, there's no proof that they work. Hey, look at Texas. Texas just got rid of the mandate. The cases went down, so on, so forth. I don't want to get too much into the weeds here. The point is, this lady nearly passed out herself while wearing her own mask, while blathering on about how she wants to force children to muzzle up all day long at school.
Wow. Okay, well, look, I mean, to be fair, she obviously isn't getting enough oxygen to her brain to make the connection.
Like,
so.
she was getting so angry. You know how they get angry and they, kind of short circuit when they're losing a fight?
Yeah.
So she started, getting really mad, and she was wearing the mask, and she couldn't breathe, right? So she starts taking these 5-second pauses between words.
Jesus.
And taking these big gulping breaths. And I mean, honestly, the only thing that would have been better if she would have just conked her fucking head right down on the desk.
Oh my god. If only there were a perfect analogy to illustrate how stupid these people are. I have to think on that. Then again, maybe she just wasn't wearing the right type of mask. Now, have you seen the newest mask out there?
Git mask?
Not quite.
Right.
It leaves your mouth uncovered and only straps on over your nose.
Ah, perfect for the mouth-breathing moron in your life.
But it's not actually meant to replace the regular COVID mask. This is meant to be worn underneath the usual Fauci double mask, but kept on while eating and drinking. That way you never have to breathe freely ever again.
So it's like Inception. Like Inception for idiots. Or like a Matryoshka doll for morons.
I mean, I just can't wait until they're requiring masks for every single orifice of the body. I mean, why not?
That's one way to pump those numbers up, What do you say? We're using 3 million a minute?
That's right.
That's rookie numbers.
No.
We got to throw some butt plug masks in the Atlantic, people. By the time we're done, you're going to be able to walk from Florida to fucking Morocco.
On a bridge of masks.
Masks and filth. It's going to be really wonderful.
This is how they'll prevent California from sinking into the ocean.
I was going to say, this is how they're going to get all the sub-Saharan Africans to enrich our culture.
Okay.
Once we get everybody from Latin America to come here, and Latin America's empty, and once Europe's full, they're going to be able to take all the rest of sub-Saharan Africa, and they're going to walk on the mask bridge.
Well, that'll be really great.
To America. And, we'll give them $2,000 a month, put them up in a hotel, it'll be awesome.
Sounds like a great transportation plan you got cooking there.
Hey, that's a great segue, because if you thought mask mandates were bad, get a load of human butt plug Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and his new plan to tax Americans for their gas mileage.
What? Tax Americans for their what?
For their gas mileage. And he's really excited about it. So Mayor Pete, he went on CNBC. He was grinning with glee as he discussed his big idea to bleed us by the mile for the sin of driving on the road. He said that's the way to fund infrastructure.
Funny, I thought it was the thousands of dollars in taxes that you take from me already, but apparently those are all getting funneled to China and corporate entities. I mean, look, we'll get to all that, but I just want to point it out. How silly is it that NBC owns a goddamn financial network?
Jimmy Savile was a beloved children's host. Why can't the commies talk about the markets?
Okay, you know what?
I mean, Mad Money's a fun show. You know, I wouldn't take investment advice from them or anything, but Jim Cramer's a funny guy.
I mean, let's not get too distracted here. I mean, basically, we're talking about one of the most outrageous policies I've heard suggested. You're saying that the transportation secretary wants to hit Americans with a mileage tax. So basically, every road's a toll road now.
Doesn't it just get better and better, America? Like, we're just 2 months into this. Yeah, well, like, we're barely into April, and they just keep coming up with new, wonderful ideas. You know, speaking of infrastructure, I guess I should say so-called infrastructure. I don't know if you guys saw Moron Joe's little speech. I don't remember when this was. I think it was on Friday. Most people didn't watch it, but he's got a big plan to raise taxes on all our job creators. Basically shut our businesses down, shackle them with regulations, you know the drill, pro-China stuff, anti-American stuff. But it has a $3 trillion price tag.
How many trillions of dollars are we just going to print out?
Oh, well, no
trillions.
It's no big deal. Trillions. No big deal. They'll just print some more out. But anyway, he called it an infrastructure plan because his handlers read their Newspeak dictionary cover to cover. Well, I'm not going to get into tax policy too much because we do have to get to the funny voices and the dick jokes. But apparently, in this infrastructure plan, there's $20 billion set aside for destroying racist highways.
Destroying what? I'm sorry, what the fuck is a racist highway?
Oh, you never heard of the KKK Expressway?
No, the fuck I did not.
The gas, the Kikes Turnpike?
Okay, you can't say that.
Well, I mean, apparently, this has to be a big problem if they're going to spend $20 billion on it. There's got to be some racist highways out there somewhere.
So, funding infrastructure in their mind means destroying roads.
No, racist roads.
God damn. I mean, while we're talking about imaginary things that don't exist, what the hell are they going to do about the highway to hell?
I mean,
what's
we're
their
on
plan
that.
on that?
We're all the way on that.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Road.
It's a hand over the dynamite. Like, I'm ready for $20 billion of dynamite. This road needs to stop. You know, I gotta say, though, I do know what you're thinking out there. I mean, Joe Biden promised not to raise your taxes. Now he's charging you by the mile to tear up your route to work and send your job to China. Well, you know what? If you are tired of being ripped off by false election promises, maybe this legislative candidate from India is the one for you. Thalam Saravanan is going viral for his very sensible campaign manifesto, which promises voters free iPhones, cars, boats, mini helicopters, houses, robot maids, 10 million rupees, a 300-foot artificial iceberg to cool the region, and a rocket launch pad from which he will provide free trips to the moon.
Wait, he's promising all that?
Correct.
Last week, he wouldn't even put me on the phone with the manager, and now he's promising free trips to the moon?
Oh, my God.
Now, seriously, though, who could argue with all that, right?
It's true. I mean, Democrats in America went to the polls for a $2,000 check and a couple months of free college.
Suckers. I guess the message here is that if you are a liberal and you're listening to the show, first off, wow. Good job. But, yeah, I mean, what the fuck are you still doing here? Move to India.
Exactly. They're going to give you that Jetsons lifestyle, baby.
Yeah, I mean, look, this guy, I think he'd start small and just, promise to figure out indoor plumbing first, but I like that he's thinking big.
Yeah, I mean, what do we know about Indian politics, right?
Apparently nothing. Anyway, we're getting our first call of the evening, and it's coming at a good time. Looks like I think this is a Texas number.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you go ahead and take it?
All right, fine. Okay, area code 214. You're on with War on Morons. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, this is LueEllen in Plano, Texas. I was just calling in because I have to say,
people need to watch out for these politicians and their campaign promises. I mean, they're just full of bullcrap.
Hey, you know what? I'm in complete agreement with you there, LueEllen, 100%.
Damn right you are. I'll tell you what. My cage kids, you remember my cage kids. I called in a little while ago. I got some kids down at the border that I'm fostering, for the good of the country.
You're still doing this?
And
the cage
yes,
kids? How is this still happening? This was, what, like half a year ago? You went... Refresh our audience.
What do you want me to do? Send them off to the burrito factory to thaw and cooked up for them?
Well,
they're in my home. They're getting 3 meals a day.
You're feeding them oatmeal, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's right. They're getting their oatmeal 3 times a day. It's very nutritious. And, they're in my home with a loving family. Now, the only thing is that these cage kids, they still have a lot to learn. I mean, they fell for a big load of bull from this President Biden. They think that he's going to set them free and make them all citizens and give them a bunch of money. They're like, oh, Miss LueEllen, we can just go out. They'll pay for us to stay in a hotel. We're fine to go now. I said, well, that ain't happening on my watch. I mean, goddamn, I've been putting in work and feeding these kids and housing these kids for months now, like you said. I'm not letting them go until things balance out and I can get my fair market value for these kids. I tell you what.
Okay, so what are you? So they want to leave and you're not letting them?
Where are they going to go? They're children, for God's sake. I mean, they can't provide for themselves. I mean, besides, in the meantime, they've got a loving home here where they can, do my laundry and clean the roof and the gutters and, we keep them busy. It's not all chores either. I mean, these Mexicans, somebody's got to teach them to be good Christians if they want to be Americans instead of the Mexican heathens that they are. I mean, so this past sundown, let them partake in my family's Easter tradition.
Okay, we all know that Mexicans have never heard of Easter, so.
Yeah, that is exactly right. They don't know a damn thing about celebrating our Lord's holiday. They don't even know who Jesus and Mary are. They keep saying, "Hey, Zeus," like, what planet are they from? Anyway, they're about to learn because, my family, we take Easter very seriously. Every year for the past 15 years, me and my children and my husband, we all sit down and we watch the Passion of the Christ 8-hour marathon all day long. And we learn about, what those Christ-killing Jews did to our Lord and Savior.
Wait, what? Hold on. You watch the Passion of the Christ over and over and over again with your children.
Yes, absolutely.
And you teach them about the Jews.
Yes, they are God-fearing children. Absolutely. I have to say, I think that these little cage kids were touched. I mean, they were crying. They were really touched by the Holy Spirit. So I think I did a good thing.
That's a really brutal, violent movie. How old are? You said you've been showing this movie to your kids since how old were your kids when you first started showing them the Passion of the Christ all day long?
Well, as soon as they were born.
I've got to say, LueEllen, I kind of feel like that might kind of scar somebody.
Oh, for God's sake. I don't know where you were raised. Probably some hippie hellhole, but here in Texas, there ain't nothing. And these cage kids have seen much worse. They come from Mexico, for God's sake.
I guess I can't argue with that.
Now, I'm just waiting. You should be thanking me at the end of the day. I don't know what your problem is, buddy, but, I'm making good, strong Christian Americans out of these cage kids. When they get sold to their new owners, they are going to be contributing members of society.
And again, I don't think that you can trade slaves in the 21st century.
They are not slaves. They are housework, for God's sake.
And you're going to sell them?
Well, yes, I'm not just going to let them go for free. I mean, that oatmeal costs something. They're running up my electric bill. They're running up my water bill for the past 6 months.
Well, let's just say I wanted to buy one of your Mexican cage kits. How much would it cost?
Well, I can't go into that because I don't think you're a serious buyer, but I will tell you, I had one of my neighbors offer me $1,000 for one of them. I told her to go straight to hell. There is no damn way that I'm taking such a hit. Well, I know the market's going to correct itself. I learned a thing or two from that GameStop fiasco. I know things will balance out. I'll get my money soon enough. You'll see.
It sounds like you know the value of $1.
Damn right. I know the value of $1 and the value of Jesus. So, if anybody's got a problem with it, they can talk to me and my gun.
I was saying you might have been learning the lesson from the Passion of the Christ.
I know about all that, but if you're calling me a dirty Jew, then we're going to have some problems.
All right, LueEllen, I think I'll let you go. Happy Easter. Well, as riveting as that call was...
Riveting? Disturbing? Is there like an agency we can call on that woman? My God!
She's doing her part.
Her part in what? A genocide?
Well, I mean, have you...
The slave trade?
Look, she didn't leave those kids under a bridge. That was the Biden administration.
Oh, for God's sake! I can't believe you're actually playing devil's advocate on behalf of that horrible woman.
Anyway, we got a voicemail that came in while I was talking to her. I didn't want to interrupt the call, so
that's fair.
I guess we might as well just pull it up.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, why not? I need to grab a drink anyways. Jeez.
Well, let's just listen to it. So here we go.
You have one new message. Hey, this is Rudy, your baseball correspondent. I don't know why you pick up the phone. Maybe you didn't recognize my number. Anyway, I'm over here at Citi Field in Queens at the New York Mets game. And I gotta tell you, I'm smoking some grass right here at the ball field. And it's okay, because it's perfectly legal, because a great man, the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, has made it okay. Everybody's allowed to smoke grass now in New York, and I just wanted to call and tell you that it's good, and it's a good thing that they ain't gonna have the All-Star game down there in Georgia. Because in Georgia, I gotta sneak my grass and my pills and my booze and my blow and everything. I gotta sneak it into the game. I gotta keister it. And frankly, I think they should move the All-Star game here to New York because it's sensible law that you should be allowed to smoke marijuana or do whatever you want. And if people scared about the vaccine, you gotta take a vaccine. That's not a big deal. I'm not scared of no fucking needle. I've been shooting up drugs into my arm since the goddamn 60s.
Well, you heard it,
and I'm almost 80 years old. And it's not a big deal. And also, I wanted to say that Andrew Cuomo's a great man because he killed a lot of really annoying people at those nursing homes that I don't like, especially this son of a bitch named Sylvester. Not Sylvester Miller. I grew up with that son of a bitch here in Long Island. He pissed me off. He'd always try to steal my girlfriends. He's always calling me and all sorts of nonsense. And Andrew Cuomo gave him the virus, and he's dead. So Andrew Cuomo's a good man. And if he wants to get some tail and some ass, That's okay, because he's the governor and he's the boss. So and go Dodgers. Bye.
This is why grandpas you don't get, like, invited to, like, you ever wonder why your grandchildren don't call you on the phone? That's why.
Wow. Andrew Cuomo has a fan. He likes that he killed his annoying friend at the nursing
Apparently,
home.
Rudy and Andrew Cuomo have, like, a hit list they've been working on together.
Hey, if any of your grandparents have been getting on your nerves, New York State, that's the place. Jesus.
Oh, God.
But at least they let you smoke weed now, so... Wow.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. Well, after a couple calls like that, let's have a palate cleanser. How about a nice dumb criminals block instead of this political nonsense?
That sounds good.
All right, so we'll start things off, of course, in Florida, where a 34-year-old mother was arrested last month for showing up to her daughter's middle school with boxing gloves on and fighting a child.
What? Okay, I got a few questions. Mainly, why boxing gloves? Was this some kind of sanctioned match?
I'm pretty sure that... I don't think they do this on Barstool Sports even. Like, what do they get? Crackhead Florida mom versus frightened middle schooler. Tonight on Rough and Rowdy.
Oh my God.
This chick had boxing gloves super glued to her hands.
As one does.
Yeah, it actually it came up at the meeting she was there for with her kid and the vice principal. Apparently the super glue explanation was perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine?
Yeah.
Come on. What? You got a Band-Aid on your finger? You say, oh yeah, I cut myself chopping vegetables. Anyway, what were you saying about the attendance policy? Like, this is not the same level. Who the fuck super glues boxing gloves to their hands?
People who jump teenagers at a middle school on their way to the parking lot after a parent-teacher conference, and end up putting the teenager in the hospital. That's it.
Wow.
Good job, Florida woman.
Say what you want about those blue states keeping kids hostage with online learning for a full year. At least they don't have to deal with shit like this. Anyway, speaking of child abuse, a photo making the rounds on social media platforms is causing outrage online. It appears to be a screenshot from a Facebook ad showing a tiny infant with long, sharp, super pointy fingernails like Cardi B or Kendall Jenner, with the caption, "I can do your baby's nails. PM me for info, cheap rates."
Yeah, because that's something you want to skimp on. They're just filing your newborn's tiny little squirming fingers down the claws. Can you imagine if you grow up with no fucking fingertips because some ghetto manicurist snipped them off doing this shit when you were like 2 months old? Like, oh, what happened to your fingers, Shaniqua? I'm just assuming it's a Shaniqua.
Oh, God.
What happened was, when I was a baby, my mama tried to turn me into a Bratz doll.
Yeah, well, it could be a little bit worse than that. Your baby will probably claw themselves or scratch their eyes out.
Are we even sure this is real? This sounds like you remember like the Bonsai Kitty? Like from the 90s?
True.
like the website that made people think they were putting kittens in glass boxes or whatever.
Yeah, it kind of does seem like that. It might be Photoshop. If it is, it's still a good moron story. There's a bunch of morons freaking out about it, that's for sure.
Hey, in this day and age, I wouldn't put anything past these people. Anyway, here's a good one. Last week in England, a drunk driver crashed his car over the curb and right onto the doorstep of the local police station.
Well, hey, look on the bright side. Didn't have to ride in the back of a cop car, right?
I'm guessing not, Can you imagine if he did this, though, and, the drunk tank was full, and he still had to? No, I'm guessing they were just like, step outside the vehicle, right into the drunk tank.
Yeah, maybe he was trying to turn himself in, or maybe that's just where he happened to pass out.
They gave him 2 breathalyzers. If you're drunk enough to plow over the road and slam into the fucking precinct, you can skip the formalities, I'm a crazy man, though. What do I know?
Yeah. If you want to talk about a crazy man, then let's go down to Fayetteville, Georgia, where a guy just got his final paycheck after quitting his job at a local auto shop. The only problem is that it was in the form of 91,000 oil-soaked pennies in a broken wheelbarrow under a note that read, "Fuck you."
That was his final paycheck?
Yes.
What did he do to deserve this? Did he take a shit on the boss's desk or something? Like, what led up to this?
Well, you see, it's an interesting story. He actually put in his 2-week notice to go work somewhere else.
What else?
No, that's it. That's the whole story.
That'll send the message. Jeez. Why not just shoot him in the break room? Then nobody'll quit then.
This was 3 months after his last day, too. He actually had to go to the Georgia Department of Labor to get his final check, which was for about $915. I'm not sure if dumping a half-ton of filthy, unusable pennies on his driveway fulfills that obligation.
I mean, I wonder how the boss saw this playing out for him. Like, I mean, does he want the guy to say, like, you know what? You know, like, I was gonna quit, but I had a change of heart. You know, I can't move on in my career now. I couldn't imagine working for anybody else. Like, you know, what are these companies always trying to say? Like, you know, we're like family.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is some fucked up family type shit, right?
Like the Biden family.
Right. When contacted by the media, the shop owner said, I don't remember if it was done by me or not. It matters not.
It matters not?
It matters not.
Who the hell talks like that?
I have, like, apparently somebody who thinks they're a Bond villain. Like, I don't know. And he called his former employee a fucking weenie.
A fucking weenie?
A fucking weenie.
It matters not. He's a fucking weenie anyway.
You know, believe it or not, this guy actually, his shop has a ton of negative reviews. I mean, people.
It matters not.
For some reason, people keep saying it's a toxic work environment.
Can you imagine,
fucking weenies?
Can you imagine what he would do to your car if you this is an auto mechanic. I mean, they have a bad rap as it is.
Yes. Jesus,
I couldn't imagine like taking my transmission or my engine to get repaired by this guy.
You need spark plugs. It's going to be $3,000, and I'm going to fuck your wife in the ass. No, I think I'm going to go somewhere else. Fucking weenie, fuck you.
No, he just burns your house down. I mean, I think you should just close down the shop and open up one of those gimmick restaurants where they just insult the customers.
I don't know if I trust this guy making food, to be honest.
Good point.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of negative reviews, I have a feeling there's quite a few coming to NBC Universal.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The media giant, they made a big move recently when they acquired the WWE Network for the Peacock streaming service. Should obviously be a huge get for NBC. There's a lot of wrestling fans out there. A lot of really rabid, dedicated fans. And the WWE Network has a back catalog. This is crazy. 17,000 hours of content.
Damn.
That's a lot of content.
Yeah, it is.
Well, they've already managed to piss off the fan base. They've revealed that they're going to be combing through every last minute of that 17,000 hours. You guessed it, looking for racism.
Well, yeah. I mean, should we be shocked at this point?
I mean, it's NBC. What do they expect?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like, at the end of the day, if we're going by today's standards, I mean, when they're done whittling down that 17,000 hours, I mean, they'll probably be lucky to fill up a pay-per-view, maybe.
I can just imagine they're going to have, like, Rachel Maddow and, like, Keith Olbermann, like, in the back, like watching the tape, like, I mean, I noticed this Undertaker guy, he hanged this policeman in the middle of the ring, and we did like that. But we had to cut it. Oh, you guys worried about the lynching? See, it was a storyline. No. The lynching was fine. But why does the Undertaker have to be wearing black? You know, you're going to have to get rid of any black Undertaker footage. Very negative. I mean, they've already gotten rid of a bunch of matches. They put those disclaimers on others.
Oh, my God.
You can see where this is going.
I mean, isn't a big part of wrestling stereotypes like the good guys versus the bad guys? I mean, how the heck is this going to work? Are they just going to have one wrestler that has, like, bad person on their shirt and the other person's good person cheer for me? Like, what?
It's just going to have, like, the generic wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrestler 1 versus Wrestler 2.
It's going to look like one of those, video games when, just player 1 versus player 2.
Yeah, like when your parents couldn't afford Street Fighter, so they got you, like, the dollar store generic
I was thinking
No,
like
no.
like when you're playing like Mortal Kombat, but
Yeah.
you both play as the same character.
Yeah,
So like one of them's like the same character but like a different color.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I just think that I can talk wrestling all day, but
Yeah, please.
we'll lose half the audience. And anyway, we got another call coming in here, and looks like Texas again. So after that last one, I think it's your turn.
All right, we'll see what happens. Hello, area code 432. You're on with the War on Morons. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is the Texas terrorist, Longhorn Flannigan. I'm calling from Odessa, Texas. And I just want to say to all my fans out there, hook 'em horns!
Can you even say that? Isn't that like a copyrighted term from University of Texas?
No, I got an agreement with them boys in Austin. Look, dang it, I've been saying hook 'em horns since like 1981. I said it in all my matches. I throw up the horns. I do it before I hit somebody with the cattle stunner. Y'all were just talking about wrestling.
I'm sorry.
That's what I called.
I'm sorry, Longhorn. I'll be honest. I'm not like the world's biggest wrestling aficionado. I mean, like, I enjoy it sometimes, but I'm not like, I don't know everything about it.
Oh, I just really wanted to kind of jump in on the program because, y'all know I listen to your show and I do love your show. But it ain't, I can't remember the last time you said you wanted to talk some wrestling. So I think because I'm a fighter. I'm an old time wrestler. And I got stories for you. I can go on for hours.
Okay, well, let's try to keep it on the topic here. I mean, what do you think about WWE networks being, their catalog being slashed for racist content?
I tell you, New York, they always had it. They were always kind of soft-bellied. That's why I never went up there. But I gotta tell you that they're getting rid of wrestling matches because of racism. My whole career has been based on race. I mean, if it weren't for good old fashioned racism, I wouldn't have drawn one goddamn dime in this business.
Whoa, I don't know if that's.
But I drew a lot of
thing,
dimes.
Longhorn. Yikes.
Oh no, racism it's good. That's what puts the butts in the seats. All my best angles, all my best feuds, all my best, my greatest rivalries that everybody really, really got hot for. They kind of had a little of that extra edge from what y'all might call racism. But we didn't mean nothing by it.
Well,
it just,
it sounds pretty terrible. I mean, can you give an example?
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody knows Longhorn Flannigan. My greatest rival is Al Dent. That son of a bitch, that wop, that Italian bastard. Well, if I saw him right now, I'd wring his neck. And his manager, Mama Italy, I hated that fat bitch. Wow. Well, she was dirty. She'd always come up behind me. She'd punch me in the nuts. She'd hit me with that spoon. She'd grab my rope and she'd yank me. Oh, I hated Mama Italy. And I hated him. Because he's a wop.
If you could stop using that word, it wouldn't sound too bad.
Well, I mean, his hocus pocus and his Catholic, I mean, we all know, how them people are, and I'll let the fans know that in Texas, we don't suffer no Catholics. And I got the fans behind me. But when I went up to his territory,
this is really a little spicy. I don't know if this is the best example you've come up with, Longhorn.
Well, all right. Well, how about there was a whole man. I tell you, you remember the cannibal Holocaust match that I had? I think that was back in '88.
The what? The cannibal Holocaust?
Yeah, the cannibal Holocaust match. It was against Kumba, the Congolese cannibal.
Okay, now that is just
he's an African.
insulting.
Yeah, well, no, he's an African, so he eats people.
You know what?
And
No.
he wanted to eat me. On account of me being, because I'm big and beefy. I'm Longhorn Flannigan. So he came to Texas, and he wanted to eat me, and he wanted to eat every single, one of Texan and, even the Tejanos in the audience. And I said, I'm going to send you back to Africa if you try to eat us, blacks. And we had to have a match, and it was a cannibal Holocaust match. And if he could make me get in the cannibal pot, this big old cooking pot, then he would get to eat me.
That is the worst thing I've ever heard. That's incredibly racist. Nobody should watch that.
It's just wrestling.
No,
it's just wrestling.
It's horrifying racism.
No, I mean, everybody, and then of course, down in Mexico, I had some great feuds in Mexico, and they don't really speak the language, they don't speak
Please, let's spare us. This does not sound like it's going anywhere good.
Well, so I had a great rivalry with a midget, a midget luchador. His name was Pablo, the border jumping bean.
Okay,
I tell you,
Longhorn, no,
he
absolutely not.
He could fly around like you think that Rey Mysterio's something. You should see it. He's dead now. He's dead. Cocaine overdose. But I hated that little Mexican. But I mean, I'm just between you and me, boy. We got drunk so many times. We had such a great time together. But the fans don't know that. We had to use racism. Do you understand?
I honestly, Longhorn,
that's why I'm the star that I am today.
Yeah, it sounds like you benefited from, marginalizing all these people. I mean, it really sounds awful. I'm not one to be, extremely politically correct, but the things you described are pretty horrifying.
There was that. Well, it's not always that. I mean, sometimes I fight for America against, the racists. You ever hear of El Hijo de Adolf?
What?
Well, he's the son of Adolf Hitler.
Jesus Christ.
See, he's not really the son of Adolf Hitler. We just
not.
But yeah, normally when I was fighting against El Hijo de Adolf Hitler or Adolf Hitler Jr., he's the heel because he's a Nazi.
Normally,
he's Nazi.
Normally, what? Wasn't that all the freaking time?
Well, sometimes we work Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Okay.
And they kind of like him there. And
Longhorn.
Up there, I had to work heel.
Longhorn. No.
Yeah.
This is horrific. This is horrible.
It's just wrestling. It's just good old-fashioned wrestling. See, the best match, even better than the cannibal Holocaust match, I think the best match I ever had was actually against Adolf. It was a death camp death match.
Okay, you know what?
And what?
You know what? I cannot
don't tell me. You're going to get offended because of the name. Look, that cow wasn't even the death camp. It's just to catch a title because it was a death match because he was breaking light tubes on me and all that. But anyway, look, if you knew your history, look, if you want to know about the real camps, I actually just got a Tom from the Pigeons last night. And this is from Linwood.
Okay, that's enough. That's absolutely enough, Longhorn. No, I'm going to end the call. This is way out of line. You're giving wrestling a horrible name today.
It's happening.
Nope.
May 5th, they're going to put us in camps.
Okay, goodbye. I don't know what the fuck he thought he was accomplishing there.
He's apparently he's a great wrestler.
Apparently he's a great racist.
I've never heard of Longhorn until he started calling our show.
I wonder why.
I mean, maybe they should put some of his stuff on Peacock. I want to see the match where he has to get in.
No, we're not.
In the cannibal pot?
We're not watching any of those damn matches.
Or the cannibal eats everybody in the audience.
Oh my god, that's definitely.
Well,
definitely not PC.
Well, speaking of PC, we've got a great, very, very PC commercial.
Really?
Well, not really.
Do they know who they're advertising for?
Apparently not.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Hey, sailor, do you want to be in the army, but with way more men in lipstick? Then it's time to enlist in the woke force. We'll show you how to throw pregnant women out of airplanes, how to sword fight in the latrines with double-ended dildos, how to raise the American flag on the battlefield, then douse it in gasoline and set it on fire. China, Iran, North Korea, Russia, they'll never stop the woke force because we are actively anti-racist and passively anti-human. Remember, troops, you can't kill us, we'll kill ourselves. Join the woke force today at americasnewarmy.cn.
I don't think that was a great move approving that one.
Hey, well, if you sign up for it, you probably won't be able to tell the difference between that and the real army these days. So, yeah.
Don't sign up for it.
Anyway, I guess we might as well get on to the final block of the evening.
All right.
Starting with this next story is actually up that same alley.
Oh, dear God.
Supposedly elite private school in New York has banned the terms mom and dad in their new inclusive language guide.
That doesn't seem very inclusive, does it?
Well, it's inclusive of some things. They're instructing their K through 12 students whose non-gender specific parental units are shelling out $46,000 a year for this amazing education to use the terms grown-ups and folks instead.
I mean, I hate to play devil's advocate here, but what if they're referring to the government? Like, can they call Andrew Cuomo or Joe Biden their daddy? I mean,
Who would their mom be, AOC?
Oh, no, she's a revolutionary, not a mother. Their mother would be Rachel Levine.
That actually makes sense. The language guide's just the tip of the iceberg, too. Apparently this school spends more time drilling these poor kids on gender dysmorphia and white supremacy than they do on math and science.
And here we are.
Yeah, these are the leaders of tomorrow. Somehow, I don't think they're doing this kind of stuff in China.
I wonder. Well, moving on to Chicago in yet another school district. The latest victim of cancel culture might just surprise you. It's Barack Obama.
Something tells me it's not because they finally figured out he's a communist. Maybe they heard his shitty podcast with Bruce Springsteen.
His what? Is that a thing?
Believe it or not, that's a thing.
Oh, God.
I keep hearing commercials for it.
That should not be a thing.
Obviously, I've got the right, I use the right apps because they don't know who they're advertising to.
Good God. Well, yeah, they do because we needed the content. That's a story in and of itself. Yeah. Anyways, no, left-wing activists are actually protesting because the district is debating whether to rename Thomas Jefferson Middle School in honor of the 44th president and former Illinois senator.
And left-wing activists are protesting this.
Correct.
Obama got canceled.
Well, you see, they said they will not be a part of removing the name of one oppressor, just to replace it with another. Okay? The quote is, I will not be part of renaming a school after someone who did not and does not represent the undocumented community.
Don't you just love it when they fight amongst themselves like that?
Yeah, I mean, let's just go full bore here. I mean, maybe they can name the school after an illegal immigrant.
You mean other than Obama?
Well, fair.
How about Speedy Gonzalez Middle School? I think that has a good ring to it.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, since we're talking about cancel culture, here's a funny one. So over on Twitter, there's apparently this is actually a trend now, but this was a really, really good one. So there's a trans activist calling itself Violet 5G Valentine.
That has a nice ring to it. Do you think his parents gave him that name? Or her name? I don't even know.
Yeah, I think the parents have long scratched that name out of their list. Anyway, this is another one of those unconvincing dudes in purple hair and makeup. Well, this person is getting ridiculed after, well, depending on your level of derangement, he staged a one-man or one-woman book-burning event and lit a stack of Harry Potter books on fire in his backyard.
Oh, well, that'll show that J.K. Rowling. I mean, how dare she be a woman?
Right? Like, I'm sure she's just sobbing into her millions, over this.
Woo-hoo.
And then this trans activist tweeted out photos with the caption, "Cancel culture wins again," completely unaware of the irony that he was basically aligning himself with the Christian fundamentalists who thought that Harry Potter was satanic back in the day.
The last I checked, there wasn't exactly anything transphobic in the Harry Potter books. I mean, hey, if they're going to treat her like this, maybe she should lean into it. Like, she could write children's books about how Hermione just wants to try out for the girls' Quidditch team, but some 200-pound man in a wig takes her spot on the roster.
Oh, or Moaning Myrtle. She got raped and murdered in the girls' bathroom, by a guy in a sundress.
Okay, a little dark. Moving on.
That wouldn't fit in the Harry Potter.
You know what? Speaking of Satanism, everybody's been talking about it. It's the hottest new fashion item for the spring season. That's right, it's the Lil Nas X shoe. So the streetwear company Mischief, I think that's how you're pronouncing it, produced the shoe in collaboration with the rapper, best known up to this point for his rap country crossover hit Old Town Road. But now he's known for how much he loves Satan.
When you say it, it sounds crazy.
It is a plot twist. I mean, yeah, it does sound a little crazy, but, let's see. I mean,
it sounds like the church lady from Saturday Night Live. Like, I don't know, could it be Satan? Is he Satan that's doing this?
Literally. But look, here are the facts. I mean, each one of the jet black sneakers contains a drop of human blood. I'm sure that was cultivated very ethically and humanely, is decorated with a pentagram symbol, and has been priced at $1,018, which is a nod to Luke 10:18, which references Satan falling from heaven. They also come in a box adorned with paintings of people being tortured in hell. Oh, yeah, and only 666 pairs were produced, which sold out in just one day.
I mean, that all could be coincidental. There's no need to be a conspiracy theorist or anything.
No, they're also, just so you have a full picture, they're also called the Lil Nas X Satan shoe, and he put them out at the same time as his latest music video, which included a scene of the rapper getting sodomized by the devil in hell.
All right, well, there you go. So the gay rapper worships Satan. The more you know.
I've got to say, hip-hop is getting a little weird these days, right?
Like, when I was growing up, everybody knew kind of where you drew the line. Sure, all the rap songs were, they weren't exactly, they were all about, selling drugs or pimping hoes or shooting people. They weren't good songs.
No.
But
they weren't wholesome.
You drew the line at gay sex with Satan.
Well, I think they actually drew the line a little before with Satan.
yeah, they drew the no homo was kind of a thing.
But, actually, Nike also draws the line at gay sex with Satan, apparently, because when these shoes did get released, everybody thought that Nike was involved because these are customized Nike sneakers. So now the giant athletic company is suing Mischief for copyright infringement.
It's really funny to me that it took the literal devil to get a corporation to have some sense in 2021. Like maybe they need to get the devil involved in this Major League Baseball thing, with Coca-Cola and with Delta and everything too. Like maybe they need to say that the devil doesn't think that you should show your ID to vote. Like, maybe somebody should paint some devil horns on a case of Coca-Cola.
Oh, my God.
But, like, I mean, it says a lot that people actually thought that Nike was producing it. Like, I
bet Nike's just doing them because they want some of that sweet, sweet Satan shoe money.
They just want a little piece,
They
right?
just want a little piece
They're
of
like,
the pie.
damn, you sold shoes for $1,000. We can't even sell shoes for $1,000.
Right?
And, I mean, think about, like, the markup. I mean, they make them with slave labor. So, I mean, it can't cost much to produce them. That's like, it's like you're making like $999 a shoe.
Right.
Whew.
Shit.
We're in the wrong business.
Damn right.
Anyway, we're getting one more call on the hotline.
All right, I'll take this one and we'll wrap things up. Hello, area code 662. You're on with the War on Morons. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yo, look, you just say 662. That was real close. You cutting it real close. You gonna end up down there. You gonna end up down there getting burned to a crisp. You better wash your mouth.
Okay, thanks for the warning. That's your area code.
Well, I'm just saying you better wash your mouth, Anita. You almost you gonna end up in hell.
Okay, well, for the 666th time, Reverend, my name is Anissa, not Anita.
Yeah, well, look. First off, I didn't even say my name. I don't know how you knew who this is, but yes, this is the Honorable Reverend Jeremiah Jackson. I am coming from Clarksdale, Mississippi, and I'm mad. I don't like all this Satan talking about the devil. Why you talking? Ooh, I don't like it. I don't like talking about the devil. I don't like talking about sodomies. I don't like talking about Lil Nasty Sex. I don't like talking about it. Ain't right.
You know, Reverend, I gotta say, I mean, yeah, it sounds like it's just kind of hitting a sore spot because, you know, it maybe reminds you of your past a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting into a little armchair psychology here, but you know, doesn't it maybe strike a chord? It sounds to me like, you know, it's pretty similar to some of the activities you were getting up to not too long ago.
Listen, for the last time when I was in the satanic cult, I was not really in the satanic cult.
Right,
when I was participating in the satanic orgies, I was not actually participating in the satanic orgies. You see, I was part of a sting operation. I was taking down the devil. I was bringing down the devil from within. I was working for the Lord. I was casting the devil back into hell. And this rapper, this hip hopper that makes the shoes with Satan with Nike, he ain't doing that. Oh no,
you did some hell of a job beating Satan back into hell, Reverend. I mean, now we've got Satan starring in a music video having sex with Lil Nas X.
That's right. I brought him out into the world. You see him in the open now. You know, you didn't see that before.
Is that a good thing? I think it's a horrible thing.
But now you know not to buy the Nike shoes. You buy the Nike shoes, you have Satan on your feet. You walk Satan everywhere down the street. Ooh, no, that ain't good. That ain't right. No, y'all. No. Let me tell you, this message is for Lil Nasty Sex. If you out there, you listening. You think that you on the side with the devil. You think that you're going to go down to hell and you're going to take his crown and you're going to rule hell for 1,000,000 years. That ain't how it works. Because it's in the Bible. But the Bible's a big book. I know you can't read a book as big as the Bible. You just got to watch a movie. There's a movie called Lil Nicky. It's a movie called Lil Nicky. It's got Adam Sandler in it. And the devil gets a pineapple. He gets a pineapple, a big pineapple, and he puts it in your booty hole. And it hurts real bad when it's not no sensual feeling good. You know, I know he's a sodomite and he's into that sort of thing, but I don't care if you Elton John. It don't feel good when someone rams a pineapple in your booty hole.
Okay,
and I put that on Jesus. I put that on Jesus.
there's a lot to unpack there, and I really don't want to know the details. So, I'm just gonna have to let you go. But
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, and everybody listen out there. Just make sure that you tithe. You know, you owe me some money if you don't want to go to hell, because I am the Reverend. 10%. If you got your stimulus money, that means $140. So let me give you my PayPal. My PayPal is I am Jesus.
Okay, very blasphemous. Thank you.
Well, it's because I represent the Lord. It's because I walk with the Lord.
I don't think the Lord wants you representing him, but that's just me. Anyways, gonna have to let you go because this was highly disturbing. Good luck with healing whatever's going on in your ass.
Praise Jesus.
Thank God we're at the end of the show. I don't think I can take any more of this today.
It was definitely an interesting, show.
Okay, I definitely need...
I think we're getting kicked off some platforms. Are there any left that might kick us off?
At this point, with all the Satanism talk, we're probably on thin ice with Gab, which I didn't think would be possible.
Torva, we're not endorsing the devil. We promise. Sign of the cross or whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys.